Hello, Bruno.
Hi.
Good
Ciao.
afternoon.
Oh, what a
Hello.
pleasure. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. Ciao, Claudia.
Hello.
Ciao, Gabriele. Oh, my God. What a melting pot of people. Wonderful. So many nationalities, so many students.
Hello, Ricardo.
Oh,
Hey,
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
I'm
Where
going
are
home,
you?
okay? But I'm connected with you.
Okay.
Are you with
hope-
us?
Everyone is okay. It's fine.
Let us see
Hello,
some of
Nora.
your bees.
Hello.
Everybody. My name is Filiz. I am coordinator of the project. I'm from Turkey. Nice to meet you all. Now we will have a meeting for this week. This week is Safer Internet Day week. For this reason, our students will make presentation to each other. We celebrated Safer Internet Day on Tuesday also. And now first presentation will be made by Giulia Michie, Italian student.
Giulia Michiche.
Ma dov'è Giulia? C'è?
Dovrebbe esserci. Felix, just this, then Giulia will start talking. We have arranged everything in this way. I mean, there is a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
And after the PowerPoint presentation, it's a passage that Giulia and other schoolmates thought to insert as a PowerPoint. So it's their research. And after this PowerPoint, Giulia, Claudia in this case, will show a short video of about 2 or 3 minutes taken from YouTube. It's an English video about the 10 forms of cyberbullying. Anyway, Giulia will go on. Giulia, maybe if you're ready, you can start. Okay, perfect, wonderful.
Hello everyone, my name is Giulia Michiga and I am one of the students who will participate in the mobility scheduled in April in Portugal. With my schoolmates and my professors, we decided to dedicate the week of Safer Internet Day to the topic of cyberbullying, because we think that is a phenomenon, especially in recent years, because of the pandemic, has had a significant increase. In fact, the habit of us young people have changed a lot hand. If before our life took place regularly, alternating school, other activities, sport, or maybe just evening with friends. Now, everything is different. A little out of fear, a little out of habit, a little out of addiction. It has become difficult to think of living normality again. Outside the home or our room and our PC or mobile phone, that has become the symbol of our security. Instead, no, it is not so. And the studies and the numbers of various researches done in Italy in the last year prove it. Our has become an addiction and has led to a worrying increase in cyberbullying phenomena. No more and not just bullies, but also cyberbulls, since 1 in 6 bullying episodes is female. This data has affected us a lot, and we realize that, unfortunately, it is also a consequence of the pandemic that has also seen other behavioral disorders such as anorexia and bulimia increase. A form of reaction to the perception of one's physical appearance during adolescence. In fact, during the pandemic, with distance teaching, we guys had very few opportunities to compare and we felt alone. We were alone in front of a cold screen that made us and make us feel protected. This leads us slowly to no longer perceive the true and real emotion, and often to act without thinking that on the other side there isn't a robot, but a real person with his true emotion, his true feelings, and his true fragility. So often we do not realize what we write or publish, or that we spread images, video, word, comments, which are heavy and offensive, that affect us and makes us enter the lives of others in a massive and sometimes lethal way. In the last year, there have been many suicides of children who have been victims of bullying and cyberbullying. And it is important to talk at school to prevent these phenomena through constant information, because the school, together with the family, is the center of our formation and must confusedly watch over what happens. We young people often underestimate the phenomena of bullying and cyberbullying. We consider them only jokes, storms, and they maybe consider the victim a loser that doesn't play the game. Instead, we need to understand that this is not the case, that nobody has the right to offend another person, both privately and online, because today the consequences on the life of a victim of bullying are devastating and amplified, even more by the web. The web is a great invention, but it also has many dark sides that we need to know in order to make conscious use of it. Now, I would like to show you a video taken from YouTube which talks about the form of cyberbullying. Thank you so much, and see you in Portugal.
Brava, Giulia, compliments. Wonderful presentation, great. Now, Claudia, maybe you, if you find the video.
Hello, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, of course.
Nicolas.
Nice to meet you. Just give me a second to share my screen, and we will be. Everyone see?
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
just
yes.
give me a second. Great. As you may know, it was the International Day of Cybersecurity recently, and this is what we're all talking about. So, the first thing we need to do is to understand what the internet is exactly. So the internet is not actually a thing per se, it's more like a capability of computers. It's a fairly abstract definition, but it is a connection. It's a collection, of computers, or to more accurately represent it, servers, all connected together in some way that we can access via our personal computers and see their contents. In these servers are hosted sites such as Instagram and Facebook. Now, let's talk about what the internet is exactly. So aside from the benefits that this network offers us, that includes instant communication, information, etc., there is also a downside. People can anonymously use the info we provide there to their own benefit. This includes hackers, stalkers, and even thieves. Now let's talk about puzzles. How can they use these data against us or for their own benefit? First of all is an image, the classic JPEG we all upload, most of us every day. And most importantly, the background of those pictures. It can provide info for the location of the photo and also the kind of phone we used to take it. This is actually encoded inside the code of the image, but they can still see it. And also it can provide information about the date it was taken. So how can they use them exactly? And how can we minimize those risks? Well, the first thing we have to do is make sure we have perfect knowledge and control over who follows us and has access to these photos, stories, and if you're using Facebook, post in our timeline. The most efficient way to make our account private is to ensure that whoever wants to follow us needs to request our approval first. Now, finally, a good indicator of a malicious user is them using offensive or inappropriate text on our personal messages or even comments on our posts. In that case, we should report and block the user. Now, let's not forget, though, that this is not the only way that someone can have access to our personal info. In fact, hackers try to gain access to our account as well. And as mentioned before, they can also use that access to their benefit. An excellent example would be that you send your boyfriend a photo of you doing what's not meant for public view. And they, if they have access to your account, can save it and then extort you, that is, use the photo's existence to make us pay for them in return of not sharing them in public. So how do they do that? Our passwords and our usernames are stored in those servers in a form of an Excel sheet. Let's say this is my username, Nikos, and my password, an Atom password, 1234. They're not actually saved like that, but they're encrypted so that when a hacker tries or even gains access to that database, cannot access our account. So how can they learn about us? How can they find out what our passwords are? The first way they can do that is phishing. It is creating a site that looks like Instagram. It's not actually Instagram. This actually I created in 5 minutes, and it looks like Instagram, and you can actually enter your personal login info in there. But as soon as you click login, it redirects you to the Instagram page, of course. And apart from that, I have a TXT file on my computer that gives me the username and the password of the user. And this can happen for credit cards and other accounts as well, like Facebook and even our phone numbers. Another way they try to access is by using brute force. I'm sure you've all seen one of these. This is basically a padlock. It has 10 digits and 10 rotors. Each rotor has 10 digits. So this gives us 10 possible combinations for the first rotor, and for the second rotor, we have another 10. But for each one of those 10, we have another 10 on the first rotor. So this adds up to be 10 squared. And for the more rotors we add, the more combinations are possible. So the hackers actually try all of those combinations in order, and when they find the combination, the locker opens. The other way they can do it is if we have a weak password, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are dictionaries, we call them, that have ready passwords, so that they ready mostly used passwords, and they try those first, and then try to try all the possible ones. So what we can do is consider letters as digits, like A is 10, and the capital A is 10. B is 12, and it keeps going. So this adds up to be 72 for its rotor. And this, and if we keep doing this for 16 times, that is the recommended password length, it adds up to a very big number. So how can we protect against password cracking? The first one is having multiple passwords, and as I said, secure passwords. The other thing is to change those passwords, because let's imagine a hacker trying to crack our password for a month. They will eventually find it. So we need to have multiple, complex, and ever-changing passwords. So how can we remember all those passwords?
We're listening to you.
Okay, now you see again?
Yes.
Great. So as I was saying, the most efficient way is to use multiple, complex, and ever-changing passwords, so that we ensure that whoever tries to crack one of them, even if it finds it, it can no longer access other accounts. And the final way is to use two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is a way of electronic systems to prove that we are actually who we say we are. Like when you try to log in on Facebook or on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen, or try to do an electronic payment, I'm sure you've seen the bank or Instagram requesting a 4-digit password that is sent into your phone. So this is the way of them proving that you are who you actually are. And the 3 ways you can do it is with something you have. This is a phone number, something you are, or a fingerprint, and something you know, the name of your first pet, let's say. So what happens when someone tries to and manages to gain access to our account, or even doesn't, but can contact us and has info against us? So the first thing is harassment. Give me a second, because I don't see my notes. Which is when someone is being harassed online, they are being subjected to a string of abusive messages or effort to contact them by one person or group of people. Basically, someone contacts you and says bad things to you and try to make you feel bad, or even try to make you pay them something. Another thing is doxing, which is when an individual or a group of people distribute another person's personal information, such as their home address, cell phone number, or place of work onto social media or public forums without that person's permission to do so. Another one is cybertalking. It is similar to harassment, and it involves making persistent efforts to gain contact with the victim. However, this differs from harassment. More commonly than not, people will cyberstalk another person due to deep feelings towards that person, whether they are positive or negative. Another one is revenge porn. It is when sexually implicit or compromising images of a person have been distributed onto social media or shared revenge. Yes, on revenge. Now, account hacking, as I mentioned before, is when someone gains access to your account, and false profiles basically impersonate a person without them actually being that person, and can start saying bad things as they were that person, and that creates a bad reputation for them. Now, how can we deal when something like that happens? First, take your time. Think about it. Second of all, talk to someone. Talk to your mother, father, or someone you trust, like your uncle. And also block that user who is trying to do any of those things to you without fear of the consequences, because if you don't, they will not stop. And finally, you can call this number 116-111. It's the European number for cyberbullying. That's it. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Very well done, Nicholas. Compliments. Very well done.
Yes, just give me a sec.
Yes. Natalia, ¿estás por ahí? ¿Te pongo el PDF o qué te pongo?
Ponlo con el...
A ver, Natalia, inténtalo.
Metía 2 veces. Dile que me acepte, o sea, que me deje con la otra cuenta, ¿sabes? Que es con la que estoy en el ordenador.
¿Con cuál cuenta?
O sea, estoy con mis 2 cuentas del instituto metidas, pero ella me ha aceptado para compartirlo en el móvil y yo con el móvil no puedo compartirlo, ¿sabes?
Ok. Phyllis, Natalia has 2 accounts because she has a mobile phone. Can you share to the other account? Natalia has 2 accounts. Can you see it, please?
Natalia has other account.
Yes, she has another account.
Laura.
Yes, dime, Ricardo.
Natalia es la anfitriona, entonces tiene que ser ella a aceptarla en otra cuenta.
¿Ella misma?
Sí, porque ¿quién puede aceptar? Solamente el host. Y
vale.
Natalia es el host.
Natalia, ¿estás escuchando lo que dice Ricardo?
¿Qué ha dicho?
Ya lo,
Tienes que ser
¿Qué ha
tú.
dicho?
Natalia, ¿me oyes?
Escúchalo.
Tienes que ser tú, aceptarte, una vez que tú eres el host del meeting. Phyllis no te puede aceptar porque ahora mismo solamente tú tienes ese poder. O sea, si vas a los participantes en el chat, consigues ver donde dice participantes.
Sí.
Ahí tienes que estar tú. Tienes que...
Acéptate tú.
A ver, voy a probarlo.
Prueba.
No me deja.
¿No? ¿Me puedes a mí hacer?
¿Se ve?
Sí, perfecto. Ok, start it.
Okay.
My name's Natalia and I'm from Spain. And today I'm going to talk about safe internet use. First and foremost, I'm going to discuss the risk of visiting malicious, criminal, or inappropriate websites. Visiting this type of website can cause the appearance of virus and spyware. Furthermore, it can cause phishing, designed to obtain your personal and financial information and possibly steal your identity. Then fraud from fake shopping, banking, dating, and other websites. Copyright infringement. It consists of copying or downloading copyright protected software, videos, music, photos, or documents. And finally, exposure unexpected inappropriate content. Secondly, these are tips to know what is a safe page, and you can use your instinct and common sense to detect. You can check the presence of address, phone number, or email contact. If there is no password or it starts with HTTPS, do not give information. And the website which requests more personal information that you would normally expect to give are probably malicious. Be wary of websites that are advertised in unsolicited emails from strangers. And that's all. Then you can ensure that the links are secure in 2 ways. There should be a padlock symbol in the browser window frame, and the web address should begin with HTTPS because the S stands for secure. I'm going to talk about the cookies. Cookies are files that websites use to store information about the between session. Most of the time they are innocuous, carrying out tasks such as keeping track of your username so that you don't have to log into a website every time you visit in, and storing your user preference. However, some are used to track your browsing habits so that they can target advertising to you. And last but not least, these are the most common internet browsers that enable you to manage your settings, such as allowing a blocking select website, blocking pop-ups, and browsing in private. Some browsers also have the ability to identify fraudulent websites by default. And these are some examples of the best browsers like Google, Firefox, Safari, and Edge. And that's all, and see you in Portugal.
Thank you. Very good, Natalia.
Thank you. Compliments. Very well done. Compliments. Really compliments.
Saúl Cabeza.
A ver.
Hello, my name is Feliza. I'm at the age of 16. I'm a student of Kedesiro Vocational High School. Now I'm gonna present my project about cybersecurity, cyberbullying, and ETS. Meaning of this. Is my voice coming? Okay. Meaning of the cyber. It is coming from relating to information technology and the internet. Preventive technologies used to project networks, programs, and data from attack, damage on unauthorized access. Cybersecurity aims to Cybersecurity aims to protect information and systems, cyberterrorism, cyber warfare, cyber espionage, protection from major threats such as the identified knower is all the data that belongs to a living person, information that provides an accurate diagnosis from a person, such as the name and surname of the individual, date of birth, place of birth, phone number, license plate of his car, passport number, or physical, family, economic status. Değişti mi hocam şu an? Okay, let me continue. Family economic status can also be added to this information. The criterion here is that the available information can be matched or identified with the real person. Online identity. A social identity that an internet user uses in online communities and websites. Nickname, examples, forums, game portals, in Steam, GOG, Origin, OnPlay, Twitch, BTS, Twitter, also. Online identities are associated with the user by authentication, verification by Google, authenticator, SMS, mail, IP address, systems such as Steam and Spotify. Netflix generally refer the IP address by SMS and mail. Prisoners access to personal data, obtain online credentials, making creative plans, Samsung Galaxy G8 U1, like this. Fake bank status, promotion and gifts, fake groups or platforms, acting as a government employee of governments, stands agencies, such as police or finance, efforts to reach personal data by persuading you to do something with the templates they make. Major security problems. Virus. Virus is a program that is loaded into your computer without your knowledge and runs against your wish. How to solution this? Installing programs that will protect your computer against threats such as viruses and worms. Cyberbullying. That's the main thing. Cyberbullying is repetitive bullying behavior that aims to scare, annoy, or embarrass a person on social media, messaging platforms, gaming platforms with the use of digital technologies. Cyberbullying is online. It is difficult to hide and escape. It is open to people from all over the world. It can become popular by reaching large audience in seconds. The bully can be anonymous. His identity, his name may not be real. Bullying can occur anytime and in any online environment. Examples of cyberbullying are spreading lies about someone on social media or posting embarrassing photos of them, sending hurtful messages or threats through messaging platforms, impersonating someone or sending message to others on their behalf. Cyberbullying leaves digital footprints behind. This makes it easier to find evidence that will help stop abuse. Exclusion. Intentionally excluding certain people or persons from online groups, events, and games. Online harassment. Harassment is one of the most serious forms of bullying. Examples include spreading gossips, calling names, mocking, slandering, making real-world comments about psycho appearance, and humiliating behavior. This disclosure means embracing or publicly humiliating a person or a group by posting sensitive or private information about them online without their consent. Impersonation, it is to expose oneself to bullying by stealing credentials, sending pictures, or creating fake social media accounts. Characteristics of a cyberbully. In face-to-face communication is often difficult. School success is usually low. Yeah, it is. Problem-solving skills are low. He finds it difficult to understand and regulate his emotions such as anger, sadness, disappointment. It is unlikely that he will tell someone that what he said online to that person's face. The effects of cyberbullying on a person. Mental effects, losing interest in what he likes, like some hobby or something. Emotional effects, feeling sad, embarrassed, and stunned, angry. Physical effects, tiredness, insomnia, some stomach pain, headache. What can I do if I'm cyberbullied? You can collect evidence by taking images of offensive content to use when necessary. This evidence can be useful when exercising their legal rights. By reporting bullying, we also show the bully that his behavior is wrong and subject to punishment. If you are in urgent danger, you are constantly being colors and disturbed. Your location is being treated ETS. You can contact the police. Who should I talk to if someone is bullying me online? Why reporting is so important. If you think you're being the first step is to seek help from someone you trust, such as your parents, a close family member, or another trusted adult you know. In your school, you can reach out a counselor, a sport coach, or your favorite teacher, or your friend or something. And if you are not comfortable talking to someone you know, search for a helpline in your country to talk to a professional counselor. Digital science. Digital science tip. Wait a minute. Digital science tip refers to our ability to engage positively, truthfully, and competently in the digital environment, drawing on the skills of effective communication and creating to practice forms of social participation that are respectful of human rights and dignity through the responsible use of technology. And thank you for listening to me and giving attention to me.
I'm Guilherme Alberto from Portugal. Nice to meet you all. I hope to see you all well right now. And I'm going to present a presentation about online safety. So, staying safe online. A strong password is one that's safe, easy for you to remember, but difficult for others to guess. Let's take a look at some of the most important things to consider when creating a password. Okay. Tips for strong passwords. Never use personal information such as your name, birthday, username, or email address. This type of information is often publicly available, which makes it easier for someone to guess your password. Use a longer password. Your password should be at least 6 characters long. Although for extra security, it should be even longer. Don't use the same password for each account. If someone discovers your password for one account, all of your other accounts will be vulnerable. Try to include numbers, symbols, and both uppercase and lowercase letters. Avoid using words that can be found in a dictionary. For example, swimming one would be a weak password. Random passwords are the strongest. If you're having trouble creating one, you can use a strong password generator instead. Staying safe online. Okay. Malicious websites often use the deceptive web addresses to trick users. For example, www.wellsfargo.com looks similar to www.wellsfargo.com, but it's missing the S in the middle. Double checking the domain name is a good way to ensure you're going to the real trust site, not a phony site with a similar web address. Some web browsers will even try to make the domain name easier to read. In the example below, you can see that wellsfargo.com uses a darker color in the address bar. Okay, some websites will display a lock symbol in the address bar. This is most commonly seen with certain types of websites like online stores and banking sites. This means the website is using the HTTPS connection, which makes it safe to enter your personal information. You'll also see HTTPS at the beginning of the URL. You won't see this symbol on all websites, and that's okay. Not all websites need this extra layer of security. However, you should avoid entering any sensitive information such as your credit number, card number, if you don't see this symbol in the address bar. Update your browser regularly. New viruses and malwares are created all the time, so it's important to update your browser regularly. Your browser will usually notify you when it has an update available, but you always have the option to update manually. In this example, we are updating Google Chrome to the most recent version, but the exact number procedure will vary depending on your browser. Avoiding spam and phishing. From email to instant messaging to social media, the internet is an essential communication tool. Unfortunately, it's also popular among scammers and cyber criminals. To protect yourself from email scammings, malicious software and identity theft, you'll need to understand how to identify and avoid potentially dangerous content in your inbox, including spam and phishing attempts. Dealing with spam. If you've ever received unwanted emails advertisements, you may already be familiar with spam, also known as junk email. Spam messages can clutter your inbox and make it more difficult to find the emails you actually want to read. Even worse, spam often includes phishing scams and malware, which can pose a serious risk to your computer. Fortunately, most email services now include several features to help you protect your inbox from spam filters. Whenever you receive an email, most email providers will check to see if it's a real message or spam. Any likely spam messages will be placed in the spam folder so you don't accidentally open them when checking your email. Spam blocking systems aren't perfect, so and there may be times when legitimate emails end up in your spam folder. When we recommend checking your spam folder regularly to make sure you aren't missing any important emails. Spam filters. Many email services also have a feature you can use to mark emails as spam. In Gmail, for example, you can select the message and click Mark as Spam button. This helps your email provider filter out these types of message in the future. Turning off email images. Spam messages often contain images that the sender can track. When you open the email, the images will load and the spammer will be able to tell if your email works, which could result in even more spam. You can avoid this by turning off email images. Let's look at how to do this in the Gmail. Just remember that the process will vary depending on your email service. Select Ask before displaying external images, then click Save at the bottom. Whenever you open a message with images, Google will prevent them from loading by default. Okay. Turning off email images. Okay. Now here we can see that the images are not displaying. Next. Staying safe online, phishing. Is it going? Is it very slow? Okay. Phishing scams are messages that try to trick you into providing sensitive information. These often appear to come from a bank or another trust source, and they will usually want you to re-enter a password, verify a birth date, or confirm a credit card number. Phishing messages may look real enough at first glance, but it's surprisingly easy for scammers to create convincing details. Oh, this is okay. Here you have an example of phishing. It looks like the original one, but it's fake. So stay safe online. Avoid malware. Malware is one of the most common hazards to your computer when you're online, but it's easy to avoid. Developing safe and smart browsing habits can protect you from malware and other threats like viruses. Securing your computer and learning how to identify and avoid suspicious links are the fundamentals of safe browsing habits. Is it going? Okay. Any malware programs take advantage of security flaws in Windows and other software. Keeping your OS, browser, and other programs updated is an important step in protecting your computer. The security patches in these updates make your computer immune to any threats.
Avança, Guilherme, podes começar.
Ok, vou começar então. Só para isto aqui assim. Am I supposed? Okay. So I was talking about backup your files. Some malware can delete or corrupt data in your drivers. Preparing for the possibility of data loss is much easier and cheaper than attempting to recover data after a malware attack. The two most common ways of doing this are copying your data to an external drive and using an online backup service. Not working. Oh, okay. Most malware requires you to click something to download and install it. These links are often disguised as something they are not. If you are aware to what suspicious links can look like, you can avoid them. Here are some examples of misleading links concealing malware downloads. Identify suspicious sites. Run a Google Safe Browsing diagnostic on the site. Copy and paste the URL of a site into the page, into the search box on the diagnostic page. Then click the search button. This will display a site safety report. Okay, staying safe online. Online shopping is a convenient way to buy almost anything from the comfort of your home. And while there are some risks with shopping online, there are also many ways to protect yourself and your financial information. Okay, shop from home. To protect sensitive information like credit card numbers, you'll want to shop from your home internet connection if possible. Try to avoid shopping when connected to a public Wi-Fi network or when using a public computer such as a library computer. Public computers and Wi-Fi networks are at a slightly greater risk for hacking, which could put your information at risk. Look for HTTPS. Many websites will display a log symbol in the address bar. This is most commonly seen on the payment page of an online store. This means that the website is using an HTTPS connection, which makes it safe to enter your information. If you won't see this symbol on every page of an online store, and that's okay. Not all pages really need this extra layer of security. However, you should avoid entering your credit card numbers and other financial information if you don't see this symbol. Let me just let the people come in. Okay. Research the company or seller. Anyone can set up a shop online, so it's important to research a company or seller before buying from the site. Make sure the business has a physical address and phone numbers so you can contact if there's a problem. You can also check for reviews on sites like Yelp and Google. Use secure payment methods. Credit cards are generally the safest way to pay for items online. Avoid options like direct wire transfer, bank transfers, or sending cash or checks through the mail. And if you don't like the idea of giving your credit card information to different retailers, you could try an online payment service like PayPal or Google Wallets. Keep a record. Always save records of your online transactions, which should include the receipt, order number, product description, and price. You will also want to save any emails you send or receive from a seller, which may come in handy if there's a problem later on. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for everything and hope to see you more times. Bye.